And we're off.
I don't care if they talk shit. I don't talk to hypocrites. If you hate me, that's just fine. Go on down and get in line. They try to tell me what I need, and it sure ain't nothing good for me. Don't care what they say, it's all just talk. Gonna head my way and walk my walk. They try to bend me, but I won't break. I pay no mind to the noise they make. I keep my head, I hold my ground. Ain't no man gonna knock me down. They can swing, but I won't flinch. I was
Are you ever here?
built for times
No, I didn't say that.
like your shit, but be aware. I don't care. I've seen lies dressed up like truth, heard old men preaching to the youth. But talk is cheap and words don't last. I let my work speak for my past. Can't keep me down, I still stand tall, even when my back's against the wall. Lost some friends when times got tough, but the ones that stayed are more than enough. They try to bend me, but I won't break. I pay no mind to the noise they make. I keep my head, I hold my ground. Ain't no man gonna knock me down. They can swing, but I won't flinch. I was built for times like this. So talk your shit, but be aware. They can drag my name through the dirt. It won't stop me, I've been through worse. Every scar is a lesson learned, and every bridge was made to burn. They try to bend me, but I won't break. I pay no mind to the noise they make. I keep my head, I hold my ground. Ain't no man gonna knock me down. They can swing, but I won't flinch. I was built for times like this. So talk your shit, but be aware. I don't care.
Good evening, everybody. How we doing tonight? You're on James Unfiltered with James tonight. Let me get this all situated here. Then we could get this show started. We're going to have an interesting show tonight for people to listen to. It's going to be a very interesting show. Let's get some heated temperature tonight. All right. Here we go. All right. Okay, Unfiltered with James is created solely for informational and entertainment purposes. The views and opinions expressed by the host, James Feeney, and any guests are their own and do not represent any organization, employer, or affiliate, past or present. Nothing discussed on this podcast should ever be interpreted as professional, legal, or medical, or expert advice. Listeners are strongly encouraged to verify information independently and seek qualified professional guidance when necessary. This show is intentionally raw, direct, and unapologetic. If that makes you uncomfortable, this may not be the podcast for you. Listen at your own risk. Now that we got that out the way, let's get this show started here for everybody. And what's going on here? This computer don't want to seem to be agreeing with me tonight.
It's on the TV already.
Okay, everybody. All right, here we go. First of all, I want to start this show off and welcome everybody and say how we doing tonight. I want to say a couple things. First of all, my co-host on Friday Follies, Matt, it's his wife's birthday tonight, so I want to wish her a happy birthday tonight. So happy birthday to her tonight. What was I can't remember her first name, honestly. Melissa. Happy birthday to you tonight. I hope you're having a great night. And then, as everybody's aware, there was some interesting news that came across over the last couple hours. A friend of mine I went to school with, I've known since grade school, Antoine Latham, was murdered. He was a Lyft driver who was murdered, and they caught the guy who done it to him, and he was a resident, I guess, of Garfield Heights. A 20-year-old male that was that shot my buddy in the head. My friend was a Lyft driver. So I've known Antoine. We nicknamed him Ace since grade school. He was a great guy. This really hit hard when I found the news out. So tonight, I want to say, Antoine, we're going to miss you, buddy. From all of us at Central Catholic and St. Stan's, who's known Antoine, Ace, I want to do a shot to him tonight. Ace, this is for you, buddy. We're going to miss you, buddy. We love you. We love you. You're one of the great ones. So anybody who has a drink in their hand, whether it be water, milk, whatever, please hold your glasses up. I want to dedicate this show tonight to Ace. We love you, buddy. We'll always think of you. Cheers. To Ace. We won't forget you, buddy. So now that's on the way, I got a couple things I want to talk about before we get into the show tonight. We have a lot of stuff going on in this community with these juveniles, and especially a lot of juveniles and a lot of adults. So I wrote a statement about these juveniles. Again, today after school, there was fighting at the school. There was fighting. They carried on the fights over there, all up and down Turney. So Garfield Heights is not a fight club. I'm not pretending this is minor. Garfield Heights is not a fight club. Okay, it is not a social media backdrop for teenage brawls, and it is not a city that should tolerate organized chaos after school. What we are seeing is not random. It's predictable. It is repeated. And it is happening because the current leadership has allowed the culture of zero urgency to take root. Zero urgency to take root. Remember that. Let's be blunt. When kids can organize fights, gather crowds, record it, post it, and come back the next week and do it again, that is not a youth problem. That is a leadership problem. If this administration had a real prevention plan, we wouldn't be talking about this over and over. If there were clear coordination between City Hall, schools, and law enforcement, this wouldn't be a recurring headline. If there were visible consequences, the message would already be sent. Instead, we get silence. We get soft language. We get monitoring the situation. Monitoring. Interesting. Our residents aren't asking for monitoring. They're asking for order. Parents shouldn't feel anxious at dismissal time. Business owners shouldn't brace for crowds gathering outside their storefronts. Officers shouldn't be struck responding to the same preventable behavior week after week. And let's address the uncomfortable truth. When a city tolerates small-scale disorder, it breeds large disorder. Let me repeat that. When a city tolerates small-scale disorder, it breeds large disorder. That's how communities decline, not overnight, but one ignored problem at a time. I personally refuse to normalize it. To the young people involved, you are not rebels, you are not entertainers. You are not building reputations, you're not building records. And under strong leadership, there should be consequences every single time. To the parents who think it's just kids fighting, if it happens in public, disrupts businesses, and requires police response, it's not just your kids anymore. It's the community's problem. And the city hall. Stop pretending this is isolated. Stop downplaying this. Stop reacting after the fact. Leadership means getting ahead of the problem, not chasing them. Under real leadership, mind you, real leadership, dismissal time will not look like an unsupervised event. There will be coordinated presence. There will be accountability. There will be structured alternatives. And there will be zero tolerance for organized public disorder. Because here's the reality, people. A city that cannot control what happens outside its schools during daylight hours is not in control. Garfield Heights deserves leadership that acts, not leadership that explains. And if that makes some people uncomfortable, good. Comfort is what got us here. I am tired of listening to the scanner day after day and listening to our police officers respond to the same nonsense over and over due to these juveniles fighting. It's got to stop. Anyone who thinks that this is okay, that this is just, oh, they're just kids fighting, it shouldn't be a, it should let them be. You're part of the problem. Face the fact. You're part of the problem if you think it's just juveniles fighting. This is a reoccurring problem. It's a daily problem. Our schools are overlooking this. Our city administration is overlooking this. And it's getting disgusting already. These kids are ruining things in this community and nothing's being done. Another thing happened the other day, and it's a recurring problem also. And I want to stand up for my friends, the owners of McDonald's. So I wrote a little something, and then we'll get into tonight's stories. This is disgusting, and everyone knows it. I'm done pretending this is just bad customer service situations. What happens to the employees at McDonald's in Garfield Heights is ugly, embarrassing, and flat outright wrong. People come in there acting like animals over fast food. And yes, I said animals. I don't care. Screaming, cussing, threatening, belittling workers like they're trash because an order took too long or wasn't perfect. Over burgers, over fries, over things that do not matter. Let me say this clearly. If you feel powerful yelling at a McDonald's employee, you're not tough. You're pathetic. Let me repeat that. If you feel powerful because you're yelling at a McDonald's employee, you're not tough. You are pathetic. These workers don't make the rules. They don't control the pricing. They don't decide staffing. They don't wake up trying to mess up your order. They are standing there exhausted. They are stressed. And some of you see that as an opportunity to unload your anger because you think they can't fight back. That is cowardly behavior on your part. I've seen grown adults lose their minds at teenagers. I've seen people curse out workers who are already overwhelmed. I've seen the kind of disrespect that makes you wonder how someone was raised. And every single time, it's the same excuse. I'm the customer. No, being a customer does not give you the permission to act like a bully. And that's what you're doing. You are bullying these employees. If you can't control your temper over fast food, you don't need better service. You need help. If you think minimum wage workers deserve to be talked like dirt, that says everything about your character and not about theirs. Garfield Heights should be better than this. But right now, some of you are making this city look bad every time you step into McDonald's and decide to treat workers like punching bags. So here's the truth. No one says it out loud but me. If you disrespect McDonald's employees, you are the problem. Not the line, not the order, not the worker. Do your job as a human being, show basic respect, or stay out. Because no one deserves the abuse just to earn a paycheck. How would you like to, if a McDonald's employee goes into your job and bullies you every day and disrespects you at your job? You would not like it, and you would not want to tolerate the same bullshit that you give to them daily. I see this happening every time I am at McDonald's. And yes, I am defending the workers of McDonald's because I see them there. They work hard. Sometimes they are so short-handed and they work hard and they do the best they can. Yes, they make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, okay? But a lot of the workers need training in customer service. Yes, they do. But they're so... If you watch what happens, I sit there 2-3 hours sometimes at a time when I'm there, and you see these customers come in, and they come in and they start yelling and screaming at them right away before they even place an order. And these are kids, senior citizens that work there. I wouldn't tolerate it myself. So, okay, but anyways, tonight's show. The title of tonight's show is Garfield Heights Government, Masters of Mystery and the Art of Saying Nothing. That is tonight's topic of tonight's show. So, I wrote it out as a little screenplay. So, I'm going to read it to you like it's a play. Okay? So, hey everyone, tonight we're diving into the thrilling world of local government. Yes, that magical place where accountability goes to hibernate and transparency is just a fancy word in City Hall brochure somewhere. So buckle up. So I'm going to read it to you like it's a play, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, and so on. So I'm going to read it to you and then we'll discuss it. Scene 1, the meeting council that could have been. I'm going to set the scene. Imagine attending a city council meeting. You sit there full of hope, maybe even a little enthusiasm, waiting to hear about the budget decisions, public projects, or how your tax dollars are being spent. And then you realize the meeting is basically a live enactment of Where's Waldo? But instead of Waldo, you're looking for actual answers to anything. Spoiler alert, it's not there. That is scene 1. And I've been to city council meetings. You get there and you expect answers, and you're sitting there for the whole council meeting and you get no answers for anything. So how many people actually go to city council meetings or been to city council meetings where they expect to get answers on something, or they want to hear answers on something, and they actually get no answers? That happens quite a bit. especially in Garfield Heights. It's more like dodgeball. Yeah, it is like a dodgeball. You know, I never bitch too much, food workers. I'm always afraid they might get a little extra on my food. No, Kenny, they wouldn't do that to us. They love us too much. Okay, so I'm going to set the scene. Scene 2. Emails, calls, and the black hole of communication in Garfield Heights. And if you try to reach out for clarity, good luck. City Hall communication is like sending messages into a black hole. Emails vanish, phone calls go unanswered, and when you finally get a response, it's usually a sentence so vague it could double as a fortune cookie. We're looking into it. Translation? Probably not. I emailed the chief's secretary the other day, 2 weeks ago, and I asked her for some information. And this has been 2 weeks now, and I still haven't even got a response from her yet. So, yeah, email lost, black hole. Yeah, I can see where this one goes. So, yeah, yeah, I can see my email not coming back to me or getting a response. I've emailed the finance director, and I got partial information before. And, yeah, there's definitely no transparency, or nobody ever gets back to you. Phone calls do go unanswered. Emails do go unanswered. So, yeah, that is true. That's a good scene, you know, email calls and the black hole of communication in our city. So, scene 3, the budget mysteries. Let's talk about the budget. You know those numbers that determine where your hard-earned money goes in Garfield Heights? Budget transparency is optional. Funds disappear, line items change, and somehow there's always money for ceremonial ribbon cuttings, but not for fixing potholes or updating basic infrastructure. It's like watching a magic show, except for the magician works for the city and the rabbit is your tax dollars. And it is true. We don't have money to fix things, but we have money to always do the dumb stuff in this city. Yeah, you do, Jane. You never get an answer from City Hall. You're right. But we always have money for the crazy things, you know. Taste of Tourney events. I got the mayor's budget the other day. I was reading it to Vanessa over the phone. A lot of things just don't add up when you spend $1,200 or whatever, $800 at a Dunkin' Donuts. You know, it just makes no sense. So, yeah. Scene 4, promises versus reality. Let's not forget the promises. Oh, the promises. Every year, a new initiative pops up. We're committed to improving transparency. We'll listen to residents. We value accountability. And then nothing. Rise and repeat. If committed, we're measured in follow through. Garfield Heights would be bankrupt. Garfield Heights don't follow through on any promises. Matter of fact, I don't even think they make any promises. They talk about things they want to do. They talk about things they'd like to do, but they never follow through with anything. That's one thing I can say about this city. They're good at telling you what they'd like to do, but they never follow through with anything. Scene 5 is the harsh truth. Here's the reality. Accountability and transparency are not just buzzwords, they're responsibilities. When city leaders dodge questions, hide decisions, and mumble through reports, it's not just annoying, it affects everyone. Services lag, trust erodes, and residents are left wondering if their voices matter at all. Sometimes they don't. But don't lose hope entirely. Laughing at the absurdity of it all is the first step. The next step, stay informed, ask hard questions, attending meetings, and maybe, just maybe, start demanding the transparency we keep hearing about. Because if we don't, the only thing clear in Garfield Heights will be how great our city leaders are at keeping secrets. So stay foolish, my friends, because apparently that's the only thing our government can guarantee. So, with that being said, We know Garfield Heights City Administration knows they're not going to tell us nothing. They don't put out the information unless you ask for it. Transparency, you're right, Wheelie. They're not, yeah, we're still waiting to see the audit. You know, we want to see an audit. You know, I still can't even get the finance reports. I put in a request for it. They just gave me Calova's reports, and they still never gave me Burke's. Okay, I think we've been waiting for the last 3-4 years to see an audit. Shit, the state's still waiting to see the audit. So well, come on, what makes us any more special? So it's the city is, how could I say, they don't volunteer information unless you put in a request to get it. And we shouldn't have to beg for information that should be readily available, people. That's the whole thing with putting this little play together that I wrote. It's just mocking the city the way it is run right now. They want you to beg for information, and we shouldn't have to beg like this. It's our tax dollars. Speaking of tax dollars, we will talk about the taxes. We got the property tax bill tonight we're going to talk about. When you have to beg for information, the city's got you, because then they don't have to give it to you. You know, not that they don't have to, they don't want to give it to you. They don't want to tell you what they don't want to commit to nothing. Because if they tell you, oh, we're going to do this, that means, Betty, you're too funny. If they commit and say, we're definitely going to do this, then you can hold their feet to the fire. And they're not going to let you do that. So there's a lot of things in this city that are backwards, that need to be changed. And that's why they're happy with the low turnout at city council meetings. That's why they are changing the rules behind our back and not telling us what they're doing. So they are very shady and sneaky on things. So that's got to stop. Okay, I'm going to get into this one right here real fast before we start talking about our taxes. You do know that when Calova was our safety director, he had a lawsuit brought up against him because he was receiving 2 paychecks. So I'm going to read you this statement here, okay? Garfield Heights City Ordinance number 62-2022, amended by City Council. An emergency ordinance providing for the submission to the electorate of the amendment to Section 41 of the Garfield Heights Charter, providing for the mayor to serve as the public safety director until such time as another qualified person is appointed. That happened on Monday, August 8th, 2022. So, City Ordinance number 62-2022 was amended to allow the mayor to serve as the public safety director, which took place at a council meeting on August 8th, 2022. Now I'm going to read you the Ohio law. Ohio law says, generally, a city is not allowed to change its charter without the direct vote of the residents. City charters function as local constitutions, and amendments typically require approval by the majority of electors voting in an election, often initiated by city council proposal or residents' petition. Key details regarding charter changes. Voter approval required. In Ohio, for example, amendments must be submitted to electors to become part of the charter. Council limitations. A city council or charter commission cannot unilaterally change a charter. They must submit proposed changes to a public vote. Methods for amendments. Changes are generally made through a vote on proposals for a charter review commission appointed by council or through a petition signed by a percentage of voters. This is the big key part right here, people, okay? Exceptions. Now, this is the Ohio law here. Exceptions. While the core substantive changes require votes, minor non-substantive or strictly administrative updates allow by state law, such as technical, non-policy related language cleanup. So that's the big part. Such as technical, non-policy related language cleanup might differ, but fundamental, structural, or power shifting changes almost universally require a referendum. So, power shifting changes. That's a key word there. Power shifting changes. That's a phrase right there. Power shifting changes, which is what they did. They gave him complete power as safety director. So they changed the ordinance to give him safety director authority. But they put a clause in there saying until a qualified person is appointed. This was back in 2022. So we looked on the city's website. They don't even have a job bid out there for a safety director's position. So they're not even looking for a safety director. So since August 8, 2022, if you go on the city's website, they're not even looking for a safety director. And they even have it in their own city charter. They changed it. They amended it until they can find a qualified person is appointed. They're not even looking for one. And Ohio law says they can make minor policy-related language cleanup. Technical, non-policy-related language cleanup. Fundamental, structural, or power-shifting changes almost universally require a referendum. This stuff they did is going against the law. They cannot do this. That's why they don't want people to go to the meetings, because they do this stuff when there's 6, 7 people of their supporters going there. Nobody pays attention. I had to dig for this information. I had to go back to the council meeting of August 8th, 2022 to find this. Our administration can do whatever the hell they want. Kim, you're right. They've been doing it. They've been doing it. And that's the problem. They've been getting away with doing this. Okay? But we have them. I have it right here in black and white. And the law says they cannot do this. You know, they have been breaking the law since 2022. Nobody's been looking into this. It just took me a while to find this. We know they've been breaking the law. But without the evidence, you can't do nothing. But I have it right here. So now we have it here. And now we got to see what we can do with this to go the next step. Because we can't let them continue to do this. Because if they said they're looking for a qualified person to be appointed, it's been since August 2022, and this is February 26, and the job's not even posted. So he's collecting 2 paychecks. Then why is he in debt for $28,000 some odd dollars to Chase Bank? So, it just the money don't add, it's not adding up. Something is not right. Something smells rotten in Denmark here, Well, we can't call nobody in Garfield Heights for advice because they're not going to tell us anything. But Bob, don't worry about it. I took care of things, and I forward this information to somebody who could possibly help out. So, I just wanted to bring this to the attention of the viewers, so they know what's going on. But I've been doing research, people, and like I said, even when we were campaigning, I've been up on the up and up and out in the open so people know what's going on. And this is not right. Because I knew he was the safety director, but I knew it wasn't right because Clover got sued. And why wasn't he sued? How come nobody cares what he's doing? So I knew something wasn't right, so I had to do research. And like I said, this was Monday, August 8th, 2022. That's how far back in the paperwork we had to go to find this thing. So council knows he's breaking the law. Our law director knows he's breaking the law. So all of them should be fired. Technically, if you think about it. They should all be kicked out of office. Removed from their jobs. Thrown out of the city. Thrown into the new county condos that are going to be opening up in Garfield Heights in a couple years. The next 10 years or whatever. So do you guys think that this is legit? Do you think that what he's doing is right? I mean, their excuse is, I remember hearing his sister say, if you hire a separate person, you got to pay him $100,000 to be a safety director. I say bullshit. I'll do it for $50,000. I don't care. And recently they were talking about a new person. Not a new person, a person that's been with the city for a couple years now, that's doing a certain job position, and she's a 4-time losing felon herself. Improper handling of a firearm. I forgot the list is on my phone. Assault charges. 2 charges for improper handling of a firearm and stuff. So the list goes on. The guy we have in office just hires felons. Okay, so we got problems. This city, and you wonder why our city is a mess. Okay, we'll talk about more of this on Friday Follies when I have my co-host here. So when Friday Follies comes up, jobs were never. You're right. Jobs were never posted for this. They were just given. I don't recall seeing these jobs posted. I look, and you don't want that big headache to clean up his mess. You know what? I would take it. Safety director, I'd take that job. That's for sure. Because you know what? I wouldn't tolerate none of this shit. Definitely, I would definitely take the safety director's job. That's for sure. Because I'm more qualified as a safety director than he is. Trust me. This guy don't even have a college degree. So, yeah, he's got a degree in washing carpets, I guess. So, anyways, that's that one. I had to talk about that one because that was that one just kills me. So, but anyways, we're gonna go into this is my favorite one that we're going to be talking about because this show is going to not be too long tonight because of my buddy that got murdered. I'll take some questions at the end of this show, but we're going to talk about this right here. the property tax here. This is what I consider our Christmas present every year. You know, this is the county envelope that they like to just stick it in your rear every time. You know, I have it opened and I'm gonna go through it with everybody. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what we pay. Everybody pays something different, but I noticed something, I should say, in this, and I brought it to Vanessa's attention, and Vanessa did some research for me and got me some more answers, which I thought were actually bullshit. But I'm going to bring it to your attention, and I want everybody who has their county taxes to look at theirs when I read it to you, because I noticed something, and most people don't notice this because, how could I say, maybe OCD kicks in or something. I don't know. My wife says I'm crazy like that. So, but yeah, I'm gonna read something. I'm gonna read a little something I wrote here on property taxes. High property taxes, low return in Garfield Heights. Garfield Heights residents pay some of the highest property taxes in the region, and the real question is simple: what are we getting in return? Because when people look around this city, they're not seeing first-class service. They're not seeing well-maintained infrastructure. They're not seeing a city that reflects the level of investment coming out of their pockets every single year. Property taxes are supposed to buy stability. They're supposed to buy safety. They're supposed to buy quality schools, reliable services, and a city that's moving forward, not standing still. But for many residents, that's not reality. Our roads are crumbling, our public buildings are deteriorating, our schools are struggling, and basic city service often feel inconsistent at best. Yet the tax bill keeps rising. Homeowners, especially seniors and working families, are being priced out of their very neighborhoods they helped build. People who did everything right, who paid into the system for decades, are now asking themselves whether they can afford to stay. That's not just a financial issue, that's a moral one. High taxes demand high accountability, and right now residents are not seeing clear answers to basic questions. Questions such as, where exactly is our money going? Why do costs keep increasing without visible improvements? Who is responsible when results don't match the revenue? Transparency matters here. If residents can't easily understand the budget, if spending priorities aren't clearly explained, then trust erodes. And once trust is gone, it's hard to get back. This isn't about being anti-government. This isn't about refusing to pay our share. This is about value. People are willing to invest in their city when they can see that investment working. But when taxes go up and quality of life goes down, frustration turns into anger, and anger turns into disengagement. And that's dangerous for any city. Garfield Heights doesn't need excuses. It needs honesty. It needs leadership willing to say, this isn't working, and here's how we fix it. That means clearly explaining how tax dollars are spent, prioritizing core services over pet projects, measuring outcomes, not just budget, and respecting the people who fund this city every day. Because at the end of the day, this isn't City Hall's money, it's residents' money. And the people of Garfield Heights deserve to see real results for every dollar they ask to pay. Let me repeat that. The people of Garfield Heights deserve to see real results for every dollar they're asked to pay. Got that? Remember that phrase. We deserve better, people. So let me open this paper up here. So if you have your tax paper in front of you, I want you to open it up, please. Okay? If you have it in front of you. We're going to go through this, and you guys are going to love this one. Something I noticed. I'm not sure if everybody noticed. So, on your tax form, you're going to look on the back of your sheet here. Or the front of your sheet. Let me see. Okay. There's going to be a category here that says tax calculations and where your taxes go. Okay? If you add up, if you take the total of your tax calculation and then add up where your taxes go, subtract where your taxes go from the tax calculation, there's going to be a difference. When I took my tax calculation, subtracted where your taxes go, there's $160.43 difference. It's not even listed here. So there's $160.43 not even listed on my tax bill. So I'm missing $160.43 that's in limbo somewhere, that they don't tell me where it's going. So I'm looking on this sheet and I'm trying to figure out where's $160 is going. So I asked Vanessa, we discussed it, and hers is different than mine. She's missing also. Yeah, Kim, we did that. Vanessa did that for me. So Vanessa, if you're online still, could you type up what categories they told you? Put it this way, Vanessa. Type up what bullshit excuses they told you that is going to. They don't advise on the bill. They tax dollars separate from schools. That goes to joint vocational schools. Joint vocational schools and what else? Etc. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Avery Johnson's pocket. So why, if it's going to stuff like joint vocational schools and all that stuff, why is it not listed on our tax dollars, on our tax bill? So the extra $160.43 that's different on my bill, everybody's bill is going to be different now. Remember that. Why is it not listed on there where that money is going? That's my question. So Vanessa did call them and talk to them for us, for me, I should say. But that's an interesting question, people. I've noticed. So like I said, everybody's bill is going to be different. It's very interesting. I noticed this. I've never paid attention before. I just paid it and just went on my business, merry old way with this. We've been paying this for the last, 30 years, 32 years, 33 years, something like that. We've been paying this bill and just not even paying attention. So, this is actually the first time. Spa fee, sewer repair. Yeah, I mean, sewer repair bill. Money's going to pay repairing sewers. Isn't that what our water bill pays for, that stuff too? I mean, they're taking out all this extra money but it should be, my thing is, it should be on your bill. It should tell you on your bill. They can tell you anything they want over the phone. If it's not written on your statement, they could lie to you like crazy. You know, for Burke's singing lesson. Burke's singing lessons. So, why are they not putting it on your bill? That's my question. Anybody on? Yeah, I mean, it's Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District takes that money. Yeah, I mean, they get the money from your bill for the sewer district. So, where is that money? So, I'm actually going to call and reach out to Mike Mason, and I'm going to ask him. Maybe he can find out the answer for us, because the money's going somewhere, and they could tell you anything unless it's written down on a piece of paper. I don't trust them. Keep up the good work, Harvey. Thanks, Harvey. I appreciate you, buddy. Harvey, you got enough money. Send it up here and pay some of our tax money up here, buddy. Pay our taxes. Harvey, you're rich. You got all that. You got that Alabama money, man. But yeah, so unless they write it down on the paper, I don't trust what they're saying. They could tell you anything over the phone. And that's the problem. You know, can you actually trust what they're telling you over the phone? I don't think so. They need to put it in black and white and commit themselves to an answer. Because they could tell you, oh, you're paying for this vocational school, but then they could turn around and tell me, oh, you're paying for Tri-C College. What does Matt say? If that's the case, why haven't they come up with a thought or suggestion on fixing the sewer issues by me? Matt, that's because they know you're my friend, Matt. They don't want to fix your problem because they know you're my friend. The library take a lot of the property taxes. You know, I think the library is actually on there for that already. I think it's already listed on there, Wayne. Yeah, see, the library is already on there. They get their money. The library's got a classification for that. It's already on there. That money difference, the $160 difference, that's not even listed. That money is not listed on there. Burke's pay raises. Burke's security. But that's the thing. It's not even listed. There's no classification that tells me where that $160 is going. So look at your bill. Everybody look at your bill. When you get a chance, look at your bill. Take the tax calculation and add up where your taxes go and subtract the two. And figure out the difference for yourselves. Everybody's bill is going to be different. Mine was $160.43.
Vanessa's like $199.
Yeah, Vanessa, I believe you said yours was $199. His gambling money, yeah. Maybe he's using it to pay off his what's that? Chase Manhattan or whatever that is, you know. I don't know. So yeah, I suggest everybody look at their bill and add that one column up and subtract it from the other column and get to know the difference, and then call them and ask them and demand something in writing so you know where it's going. Because we're going to have to look into this. Karen, yours is over $200. Wow, that's a lot. So there's a over $200 difference. Kelly, yours was a $184 difference. See? And I bet you didn't notice that until I opened my big mouth and said something. So it's interesting to know that there's $184.04 hanging in limbo somewhere that you don't have an answer for it. Isn't that interesting, though, Kelly? Now, would the city have told you that, or the mayor would have told you? Nobody would have told you that unless I noticed that. You have to start asking questions. $184 is a lot of money that could, see, Kelly, you never noticed, yeah. Maybe it's going to the bike paths, yeah. $184 is a lot of money. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, Hazel's right. This is the first time I actually looked at the bill and paid attention. Normally, we just pay it. We don't pay attention to it. You know, I don't ever look at the bills. I just pay them. I don't ever question the bills. This is the first year I looked at every bill, water bill, gas bill, sewer bill, and I'm questioning all these bills. And I'm asking these companies, be like, why am I paying this? Why am I paying this? It's based strictly on my favorite word, principle, okay? I bitched to T-Mobile and we got new phones for a very, very cheap price because I bitched to T-Mobile about their principle. So, but the thing is, now you know that there's $184, Karen's is over $200. Now you know there's money that's hanging out somewhere that they're taking that you didn't know about. Some also go to delinquent water, sewer, and trash fees. But we pay for trash fees through our water bill. Part of your water bill pays for your trash, I believe.
No.
No, it's separate? Okay. But we pay for the trash. The trash is already paid for. That don't come out of, that's not, so, but the thing is, Vanessa, if we're paying, if the money's going towards trash, it should be written on the statement is my whole point. Whatever they're doing, they need to put it on this statement and tell everybody, this is what the money's going for. That's the whole point. They could tell you anything they want. They could lie to you like all governments do. They lie to you. And this is the whole thing about me being transparent. I want to be totally upfront and transparent with everybody. And this is how I notice this. And I want everybody to know this. When you deal with James Feeney, you deal with transparency. And I want to hold everything and everyone accountable for stuff. So if you're missing over $200 difference, call them, ask them, and say, hey, look, where's my $200 going? And demand it in black and white. Tell them, send me an email of a printout where this money's going. Demand it. They cannot deny it. They have to give it to you. They have to give it to you in writing where that money is going. They just cannot take your money and not tell you where it's going. So everybody who's watching this program tonight, this is the main topic. And I'm bringing this up to Mike Mason, and I'm going to let him know this, because maybe they're taking the money and just putting it in their pockets. You don't know this. So, put it this way, for the last 32 years, we just paid the tax bill and never paid attention. Well, I never paid attention. We just paid it. This is the first year I actually opened it up and paid attention. So let's say I've been missing this money for the last 32 years. They've been ripping me off. And I find out that it's a fraud. They've been skimming us for 32 years. That's a lot of money they might owe me back. So everybody who's watching tonight, make sure you check. Call them. Demand it in writing. Tell them you want them to email you where that money is going. Okay, Kim, here's what you're looking for. In the column that says where your taxes go, it says where your taxes go. It says schools, municipality, county, library, and metro parks. You add that column up. Then you subtract that column from the tax calculations. So it's going to say total due. So whatever you pay in taxes, so you take the where your taxes go, add that section up, subtract it from what you're paying, and you're going to get the difference. Yes, exactly. Hazel's right. And this might be a big difference, might be a small difference. There's going to be a little bit of a difference. So might be $50, might be $100, might be $200, might be $300. It all depends. Everybody's going to have a different amount because everybody pays a different tax. So this is what the city should be doing for people. This is the stuff the city should be telling people to do. Your city government, your city administration should be on the ball with this. They should be telling people, say, hey, look, grab your taxes, look at this. If this don't add up, call them, ask them where your money's. It shouldn't be Jim Feeney looking into this and telling you, hey, look, your taxes don't add up. Call, ask, find out why, demand why what's going on, demand. Because if it's illegal, so Oh, exactly. That house over there by Vanessa, they sold for almost $400,000. Their taxes are not even $600 a year. For a quarter, for half a year. Yeah. What is the special assessment charge? You know, I have no idea. You know, I have no idea what a special assessment charge is. You know? But I got everybody looking at their tax bill awfully close now, don't I? You know? So it pays to pay attention, to be aware of what's going on. I mean, I started this podcast like the crime page. We started a crime page to make people aware of their community, of what's going on in the community. I'm starting this podcast to bring awareness to the community. So this is just an example of things I notice. You know, it's just yeah, Wayne, I am looking at it very, very closely now. It's things don't add up anymore. I notice things on my gas bill. I notice things on my water bill, sewer. I notice everything now. I pay very close attention. And I went to I feel bad because I got my bachelor's degree in accounting. I should be noticing this stuff, but I just pay. I'm so used to just paying these bills, and I trust these people, and I don't trust them anymore because I notice a lot of differences in bills. And yeah, they're out to screw you. They're going to screw you every chance they get for every dollar they can get. And the property tax is one thing. The Rhino, Governor DeRhino wants to scare people into not voting for the removal of the property taxes by saying there's going to be a 20% sales tax, but people don't let them buffalo you on that because
Ohio law says you can't make it more than that.
you know they can't raise your sales tax that high.
More than 9.
So I mean, there's so many things on you know, it's look into that, please, people. Just make sure you know what you're looking at, what you're voting for. And there's many more choices when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, so this property tax was an eye opener for me, and I hope it brought awareness to everybody else that's watching tonight. So, like I said, I started this show, wanted to wish Matt's wife Melissa a happy birthday. Call the treasurer office at 216-443-7420, option 5. Thank you, Vanessa, for putting that phone number up. I want to remind everybody that tonight's show was dedicated to my friend Antoine Latham, who was murdered. They did catch the guy. He was a Garfield Heights resident, age 20-year-old resident of Garfield Heights. And once they find this guy and he's convicted, guilty, I hate to say it, I'm not a very mean person, but I hope they hang the bastard because Ace was a great guy. He's dead. He's truly going to be a missed person in life. He was a great friend of mine, and it's just hard to talk about Antoine. He's just very, very nice guy. So Melissa, enjoy your birthday. Yeah. Matt, you're sucking up to her right now. Melissa loves you. Yeah. We know how that is. Yeah, there you go. Join us for Friday Follies this Friday at 7:30. Where we're going to have me and hopefully Matt and my other co-host, whoever is going to be here tonight, that night. Where anything can happen, anything's possible on Friday Follies. You never know what we're going to talk about or what we're going to do, and depends on who's going to be peeing in the shower this weekend, so you never know. So anyways, hey everybody, I'm going to cut this one short tonight. thank you for watching tonight. The SWAT was on Sladden this morning. Yeah, SWAT was on Sladden this morning. So hopefully that's where that guy was at when they caught him. But anyways, tonight's Unfiltered with James was cut short because there's other things I have to get done tonight. So, but anyways, thanks for tuning in. And you guys stay blessed, stay safe as always. And like I always say, it's better to be the rider than the donkey. And we have a lot of jackasses in Garfield Heights as usual. So God bless you. God bless Garfield Heights. Thanks for tuning in.